First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakakwadash. And I would also like to give a double honors unto the apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who do rule well, that have taught me this truth. And I would also like to say a sincere shalom unto the hopeful elect, unto the scattered elect, unto the brothers, the prophets, the servants, the men who are out there prophesying, laboring in this truth and in this doctrine. Unto you I say shalom. You don't control the narrative anymore. All right. And this is going directly to you Edomites. All right. This is not your book. All right. You don't know the Bible. All right. Your seminary schools don't give you the spirit and don't give you the authority to teach this Bible. Okay. And I was checking out the brother. I can't think of the elder brother's name out there in Orlando, but I just happened to come across his video he did at his live camp, or part of his live camp, and he posted. In the title of his lesson says it all. Esau is through out here, naked. Okay? And these Edomites are through, but they're realizing that they don't, the narrative that they once held, where they can say shit and they can say anything and people believe it because they're in authority. Hey, that shit is out the window. All right? Because you don't got the truth. You're not the people. You're not the chosen. All right? And we're proving it through the spirit, through prophecy, and through the real edification and breakdown of the scriptures. Okay? So I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna pull some precepts, but hey, the truth is coming out. The Esau is being exposed. All right, so it's you Israelites out there, ain't gonna be no excuse that you didn't know about the Hebrew Israelites, and you continued in Christianity or Catholicism or whatever it may be. Everyone, all you Jakes out there, are not gonna have an excuse, because and when that time comes, you're gonna be left to the devices that you chose. All right, whether it be Christianity, whether it be Islam, because you chose to listen to the devil. All right, you chose to go the comfortable route. Okay, because listening to Esau's plantation Christianity, that's the broad way. Okay, and that the broad way is going to lead to death. So let me play this video, part of the video. You can see how the Esau still, in their mind, they still think they have the authority. That when they say something, it is truth. All right, but we know through history, okay, through the Spirit revealing them in the last days, that everything they speak is lies. Okay, and fact check that. Esau likes to fact check everything. Fact check that. Fact check. Excuse me. Fact check the correlation of the history of the Bible and who the prophecies pertain to, as far as the curses in Deuteronomy 20th chapter. Okay, they don't want to go into that. All right, they want to sweep all this shit under the rug, but the prophets are here to tell you the truth and proclaim the truth. All right, let me play this. The universal doctrine. That's what Catholic is. Catholic universal. Yeah, and this elder's prophesying and edifying at the same time. And Esau, they listen, but they don't listen. Okay, because they're not especially this devil right here. He's not here to get edified. And like I said, anytime I'll say a person walks up, we don't judge by the color of the skin. Okay, but eventually their spirit reveals them, and this guy is straight Edomite. So I'm gonna start right here. You could hear it and hear some of the dialogue, and you hear when the elder goes into the history of the Catholic Church and how all religions stem from the Catholic Church. All right, he cuts them off and goes into some rhetoric about some bullshit history about the elders before that, and it's all bullshit, because through the Spirit we've done our research. All right, our apostles and the elders have prepared us to teach this truth and to edify. All right, so let me play this. That's it. Christianity took our book, which is our family heirloom, and used it as a universal doctrine. That's what Catholic is. Catholic universal. Yeah, I'm not Catholic. No. I have more. What I'm telling you is, all religions, Baptist, Methodist, Protestant, Catholic, Seventh-day Adventist, they all go back to the Roman Catholic Church. All of them. No, they don't all. Listen. No, you got to look before the Roman Catholic Church and look at what happened in the early apostolic days, and you look at the Orthodox Church. Okay. And the schism that occurred between the Roman Catholic Church and the Orthodox Church. And which was who? Where was the Orthodox Roman Catholic Church at?
Yeah, it's trying to teach us.
No, it didn't. That's not according to the Bible.
It's irrelevant.
Right. They don't. These Edomites is they through. They don't go according to the Bible. All right. They're trying to fix their history. That they make up and throw bullshit in history with the scriptures. And if it doesn't align with the scriptures, and it doesn't align with the spirit, it's not of the truth. Okay. And that's one thing that these carnal Edomites they can't see. Hell, 2/3 of our own people can't see it. Okay. I'll play a little bit more.
No, but you look at the early church fathers and you see that. Who are the early church fathers?
Some white man.
Saint Antioch. Who is the Antioch? That ain't in the Bible.
Esau just pulling shit out of his ass. Saying Antioch. That ain't in the Bible, like the elder said.
Yeah, I'm not claiming. Give me, hold on. Give me, since he said Saint Antioch, give me Acts 11:26.
Okay, so the brother's going to bring out hold on. The brother's going to bring out a scripture.
Read this, please. Hold on.
The brother's going to bring out a scripture. No, I want you to choose.
Read that.
Acts 11:26.
You listening?
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year that they assembled themselves within the church, and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
It said the disciples. Remember what it said? This is Acts 11:26. The disciples was first called Christians in Antioch. Christian is a marking term. The original word for the disciple, which falls under the anointed one, which is Hamashiach. Christian is a new speak term.
So he's getting at the same time, this Edomite is lost. At the same time, he's getting edified because he knew none of this. But these Edomites, they walk with this sense of pride, like they're the authority. You're not the authority, okay? And the only reason you've been put in that position that you're in as the authority for so long because the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, went off. All right, and we departed from our power, and the Lord turned His back on us. All right, but the Lord is returning unto us now, and we're getting the Spirit, and we're receiving our heritage back, and we're able to understand these scriptures and break these things down. Okay, but the thing about it is, this is all truth. All right, and Esau doesn't deal with truth. Okay, they try to deal with they try to go around and go around truth, the best way they can by lying. All right, this is First Ezra 1, and I'm going to go to First Ezra chapter 1. Excuse me. No, First Ezra chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 38 and verse 39. Truth endures and is always strong. It will continue to live and reign forevermore. Truth shows no partiality or favoritism. It does what is right rather than what is unjust or evil. Everyone approves what truth does. Okay, so it's two times two is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. Or it's always going to be 4. All right, and the word truth, amath, I believe it comes from the word you get math from the word amath, which is truth. Okay, but these devils, they have there's no truth in them. Okay, because they've been able to come with their pseudoscience and manipulate our book, take books out of the Bible, where you had a slave Bible, where they, like I said, they took certain books out of the Bible, they removed things from history, they've been doing that to try to what? Try to hide our identity, okay, and hide their true identity. All right, they don't want the world to know that they're the Edomites. Their line goes back to Esau, okay, and our line goes back to Jacob. They want to be the chosen, okay, but that seed is already taken, okay. The Israelites were the chosen before the earth was even made, okay. That's how things shook out. All right, you just didn't it didn't fall in your favor, all right, and Esau still heard about it. All right, but all their lies and bullshit they tell, it's doing them no good now. It's really hurting them. All right, because they're looking really bad as this truth begins to go out, and everyone's beginning to see who we are. All right, and who they are. All right, let me grab this scripture because I was speaking of Jacob and Esau. Let me see. First Ezra's. Let me see. First Ezra's 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1 Damn, where's that scripture? It may be Second Ezra's third. Let me try the third chapter real quick. Let me look in a second. I can quote it, but I want to read it. I think it's a 3. Give us Adam. Here it is. It's in here somewhere. Here it is. I'll start at verse 15. Second Ezra chapter 3 and verse 15. And made us an everlasting covenant with him, promising him that thou wouldest never forsake his seed. Okay, speaking of Abraham. And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau, and so Jacob became a great multitude. So Esau was put by. All right, that's one thing that these Edomites they don't want to deal with. They can't deal with it. Esau wasn't the chosen. Okay, but like I said, these devils they walk around. They're not doing it as much now, but they walk around with this sense of pride, like they're still like that, like their lies are still holding up. All right, your lies is being exposed. Okay, everyone can see your lies. All right, you're not the people. All right, you don't know the Bible. All right, in the vocab of the world, the vocab Malones of the world, and these Christian apologists are finding that out. You can't whatever try to angle you try to come at us with. Hey, the Lord got us ready to defend the gospel. All right, ready to bring out the truth of the Bible. All right, and at the same time edify our people. All right, this is Second Ezra chapter 6, and I'm going to go to verse 27. And evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. That's how this devil was able to rule through deception. Okay, through iconoclasm during the prior to the Renaissance or during the Renaissance. That was all about iconoclasm, changing the faces and defacing frescoes and images of Jake during the Middle Ages, Dark Ages. Okay, and putting their face as the Most High, Yahawashi, the angels, the disciples, the apostles, the prophets. All right, and they fooled the whole world. I'm going to grab that in Revelation's 20th chapter after this. Okay, verse 28. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's what Esau's afraid of. Okay, and the way this devil looks right here, he's looking like he's actually learning. Okay, because he don't know the Bible. All right, he's trying to go back to the drawing board. All right, because he never knew, he would never think that what he in his mind perceived niggas on the street corners with a bunch of signs preaching the Bible would be this would go this deep into the scriptures and know the scriptures like brothers do. All right. So I said I wanted to go to Revelations, the 20th chapter, and speaking of Esau's deception, how they deceived the world. All right, and they did that, of course, through the images, but also through their pseudosciences, the Darwinism. What is that other shit called? Darwinism. Through how they group by grouping Jake in specific categories, but at the end of the day, through their sciences, they pushed these sciences as truth. Okay, and it ain't the truth. It wasn't the truth. Okay, and we're in the last days where truth is being exposed, knowledge is being increased. I'm gonna grab that scripture also, Revelations chapter 20 and verse 3. I'll start at verse 2. And laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, bound him 1,000 years. Excuse me. Actually, I'm going to go to verse. I'll start at verse 1 to get more context. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand, and laid hold the dragon, the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So Esau was bound 1,000 years. He was taken out of power For 1,000 years, that's the period of the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, all right, where Jake was ruling hell all of Europe, okay, and through the what was the Byzantine Empire. All right, they don't talk about this in your history books. All right, they skip over this time in history. They go from the Romans and then they go straight to the Renaissance. Okay, it's a whole 1,000 years that they forget about because that's what Jake was ruling. All right, that's a part of their them formulating the deception and the lies. All right, verse 3, and cast him into the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is Europe, and shut him up, and set a seal upon him that he should deceive. Excuse me, that he should deceive the nations no more, till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled, and after that he must be loosed a little season, and we're in that little season. Okay, but wasn't able to deceive the nations for a period of 1,000 years. Okay, let me jump down to verse 7, because when you read this chapter, it jumps around. Okay, and you have to have the spirit to understand that. All right, if you read this to a regular Edomite, they would try to read it like a damn read it like a novel. You got to have the spirit. The scriptures say, through thy precepts I get understanding in the book of Psalms. All right, so let me go to Revelations 20 and verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. And that 1,000 years, like I said, was the Byzantine Empire, the Renaissance. No, excuse me, the beginning of the Renaissance. All right, was the end of Jake's rulership. All right, which was Dark Ages, Middle Ages, whatever you want to call them. All right, and he shall go out and deceive the nations which are in the four corners of the earth. Gog and Magog gather together. Gog and Magog to gather them together to battle. The number of is whom is the sand of the sea. But the first part of the scripture, it said he shall go out and deceive the nations that are in the four corners of the earth. And he deceived the nations, like I said, through iconoclasm, through their sciences and their, eventually their technology. All right, where they fooled the nation, they fooled the world. All right, to have the world think that the so-called white man is the greatest thing ever created. All right, he's the closest thing to God, and he, these times, he's thinking himself that he is a God, as it says in Second Thessalonians, the second chapter. All right, so let me I want to go. Oh, like this. Daniel 12:4. But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book. What's the book? The scriptures. All right, these Edomites had the scriptures. Okay, but that whole time, from 1611, really from the 1600s. All right, even a little bit before then, when the Bible was translated to English. All right, why weren't they able to figure out these prophecies? All right, because it was sealed. It was sealed to them. It was sealed to everyone. All right, but Yahawashi was the only one able to open those seals, so we can be able to come back to our heritage and begin to break down these prophecies and know these prophecies. All right, shut up the words in the book and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. And that's how we're able to break these things down, because Yahawashi broke the seals, and our knowledge and our understanding was increased by the Lord quickening us. Quicken means to make alive. All right, quickening us with His Spirit. All right. So back to Esau. All right, because we know he does nothing but lie. All right, and the thing about Esau, he won't lie and say, "Damn, you caught me." Yeah, we ain't the people. They're gonna keep telling lies on top of lies. Okay, and the biggest lie they're telling, one of the biggest lies they're telling, is that they're the people, and another lie they're telling is that everyone could be saved. Why would everyone want? Why would? And when they say everyone could be saved, they're not talking about. They don't care about the so-called Asians or Chinese or the Africans or the Russians or all these various other nationalities. The only one they're concerned about is Esau, because he's the one that can't be saved. And the only ones that can be saved are the Israelites. All right, in these times, only the elect. Okay, so Psalms 31 and verse, 18. Let the lying lips, let me see. Yeah, I'll start right here. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. All right, they're proud when they speak these things. All right, they're not saying these things humbly. This Edomite was proud as hell when he tried to correct the elder. Okay, and they think they're going up there in their mind. They're just going up here to some niggas that's speaking of, that's teaching the Bible or teaching nonsense about the Bible. You entering into the house of Yahawashi. All right, where am I? What does how the scriptures say? Where two or more are gathered in my name, in the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, I'm in the midst thereof. So hey, the angels, you coming into a small sanctuary, a small heavenly sanctuary, where you think you're gonna try to confound these brothers, or say something that they ain't been they haven't been taught or learned, okay, or read. All right. Where was I at? Okay, let me jump over. Let me jump over to Psalms 52. And the closer and closer we get to this, as truth begins to come out more and more, you're gonna have a lot of Christian agents come up there and try to get brothers to say something on camera, but it's not gonna happen. All right, the apostles, the elders have prepared us, and brothers is seasoned to understand the times we're living in and how the devil is going to try to accuse. All right, because they can't fuck, excuse my language, but they can't fuck with us in the scriptures. All right, they can't. All right, this is Psalm 52 and verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than speak righteous. Righteousness is the truth. Okay, let me see the tongue of. Let me see. Yeah, I started too. My tongue deviseth mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. All right, deceit. All right, Esau will come up there and say use big words, and bring out some false ass history, and if you're not really if you're not the spirits that are dealing with you, you're not versed in these scriptures, you're not studied. Hey, you'll get caught up thinking like, oh damn, they caught us. Like nah, all right, you ain't gonna confound the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shah. All right, thy tongue deceiveth, deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather to speak righteously. All right. Thou lovest all devouring words, and thou deceitful tongue. Esau has a very deceitful tongue. That's all he does is know how to lie and deceive. Okay. But your deception, hey, the gig is up, man. The jig is up. I said gig. The jig is up. All right. You can't. Hey, you can't. You can't. Yeah. That's false pseudoscience and what is that shit called? They call it your so-called superiority is non-existent now. Okay, the world's finding out you're not superior. You're not the smartest. Okay, and actually you have a low you're the one that has a low IQ, low IQ. I mean IQ, low IQ. Excuse me. All right, the world's finding that out because look how you're treating the earth. All right, you're in rulership, but you got whales beaching themselves. The ocean is polluted. The air is polluted. Okay, they're trying to you can't plant produce anywhere, or you can't farm anymore. All right, everyone's depressed. All right, but you're a righteous leader. All right, yeah, the scripture says what is that Proverbs 29:2, when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Roughly paraphrasing, I might have had it backwards. Okay. So let me go to Psalm 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. All right. They're poisoned like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth her ear. Okay. But as soon as they be born, they're speaking lies. Okay. And their lies, they got lies on top of lies. All right, to know the truth, you got to tell a lie, you got to know the truth. Okay, and they don't, like I said, they don't say, oh damn, you caught us. All right, we lied. No, they continue to lie. They continue to deny until they can't do it no more. Okay, and well, really, they're gonna continue to lie and lie and lie until they're destroyed, until Yahawashi comes back. All right, and sets everything in this rightful order. All right, with Jake, the Israelites started with the Yahawashi, King David, the 12, the elect at the top, and you Edomites, all right, you so-called you so-called elite, all right, of this society, the international bankers at the bottom, okay, in the pit where you belong, in your natural habitat, okay. Oh, let me grab this. Yeah, I wanted to get this. This is the book Isaiah 25, and I'm gonna go to verse 7. And he will destroy in this mountain, mountains meaning governments, the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. Hey, this devil has cast a covering cast over all the people. Everyone looked up to Esau. Everyone, the UN meeting couldn't start until Esau got there. Okay, he put a cast over all the people, but the nations have begun to wake up. The nations really know who we are. Okay, but they all made a pact. They all made an agreement. They all were confederate against us to keep, as much as they hate each other, they still, they still got that one secret that no, we can't, we hate you, or we hate America, we hate Babylon, but we can't tell them that they're the people, or we can't expose that secret. Even though last year Putin began to bring out some some religious art, I'll say, with images, depicting Jake as, the angels, the prophets, Yahawashi, the Most High. Okay. Let me see. And it says the veil that is spread over all nations, and the veil is like, something that covers your face, where you're not able to see. Okay, but the nations are sobering up and beginning to see clearly. All right, what's this? Let me look at a veil. Masaka, if I believe I'm saying it right. Pouring, libation, molten, melting. I get the wrong word. Pouring. What word is this? Yeah, veil. Excuse me. A web, covering, veil, woven stuff. A web of lies. Have you ever heard that term, web of lies? Esau has, he has made a web of lies. Okay, where Esau had told so many lies, he forgot the first lie he told. Okay, well, we didn't forget. The Lord gave us a spirit not to forget. Okay, that he is the Edomites. All right, his line goes back to Esau. All right, there's no salvation for Esau, for the Edomites. There's no salvation for the nations. Okay, that's the biggest lie that he told. All right, that everyone can make, including himself. Okay. From there, I want to grab Second Thessalonians 2. I'm gonna go straight to the point, verse 7. It says, "For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." So the Most High ultimately let Esau. Um, they let Esau deceive the world for as long as they did. Okay, until he be taken out of the way. Okay, the Most High let him. The Most High put him in authority. Okay, made him think that he was superior. Okay, and only just to bring him down, to build him up with pride, to bring him down to to the bottom, or to the bottom of the pit. All right, verse 8. And then shall the wicked be revealed. Who is the wicked? Spoken of in the book of Malachi 1 and 4. It's Esau, Edom, a nation of people, okay, who are in this, or who are walking the earth today, calling themselves white, calling themselves Caucasian, calling themselves Jews, calling themselves the chosen, calling themselves superior. All right. For the so like I read that, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, with all deceivableness and of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. Okay, so when you go to the word, which word was it? Lying wonders, I believe. I think it goes into the word pseudos. Yep, pseudos. Pseudos, a lie, conscious or intentional falsehood. In a broad sense, whatever is not whatever is not what it seems to be. That's Esau. Deceitful, deceitful precepts, impious, pseudo lying. That's what Esau does. He lies. Okay, but he's not an authority anymore. He's not the one. He does. He has no authority. He's never had authority over the Bible. Okay, whether he went to a million seminary schools and they think about it is Esau can understand some things about the Bible, like the history aspect. Okay, even though they don't they took the apocrypha out, which basically you take damn near 1,000 years out of the Bible right there with when you go from the book of Malachi straight to the book of Matthew. No, it's a time period in between, but Esau knows that history. They know that, but they don't bring it out, okay? Because that history, all right, which lines up with the four beasts, along with the along with other parts of the apocrypha, they expose these devils. All right, and it shows, and also at the same time, it shows who we are. All right, hey, without the apocrypha, you don't know what happened to the northern kingdom. Okay, we know that it doesn't say anything in the scriptures, in the Old and New Testament about them coming over here, but in the apocrypha in Second Ezra's, what is that, the 13th chapter, it goes into how they came over here to the land of Ashereth. Okay, but the Edomite not going to tell you that. Okay, they're not going to go into these details because they're not the people. All right, the spirit, the spirit is not supping with them. It's never supped with them. Okay, because they're not a spiritual people. They're carnal. Okay, so Lord, within this lesson was edifying unto the hopeful elect, and I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Harakak Shalom.